Svalbard is a Norwegian archipelago in the Arctic Ocean. This group of islands lies about midway between the northern coast of Norway and the North Pole. Svalbard is about 62,000 square kilometers, and there's only about 2,500 people living here. I'm here to photograph wildlife and landscapes and to visit some very good friends.
Welcome to Svalbard I. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. Thank you for items.
In the beginning of October, the sun will set for the last time in Longyearbyen, and it will not rise again before the beginning of March. That means that you'll not see the sun in the town for 155 days every year. From beginning of November till the end of January, Svalbard is covered in constant darkness. It is not constant dark though, because on a clear day, the moon and the stars illuminate the snowy landscape. I'm going to stay on Svalbard for about a month, and this is my home while I'm here.
Husk at lige trække op i skiene, så de ikke er frosset fast. Og det samme med bagenden. Ja, og tanken er fuld. To-takter, så olie.
Martin and I have both done 2 years of service in the Danish military elite unit, the Sirius Dog Sled Patrol. With our dogs, we patrol the most remote parts of Greenland for more than 6 months every year, and during the 2 years, every sled team covers almost 10,000 kilometers. The longest patrol is 4.5 months away from civilization, and most nights are spent in a tent pitched on the sea ice. Actually, I did not meet Martin in the Dog Sled Patrol because he was there some years before me. I met him when I was doing a photo project in the most northern town on the east coast of Greenland. Idogordomjut it's called. Except from a helicopter coming once a week, this little town with a population of only 450 people is totally isolated. In this little town, Martin lived with his girlfriend Karina, and together they had a small travel agency. Beside that job, Martin was also a full-time hunter, supplying his family with what the land provided. Martin and I have had many great experiences together in Greenland. We went out on trips together with his dogs, me to photograph and Martin to hunt. I visited Martin and Karina in Idogordomjut many times, and when they moved to Svalbard, I kind of moved with them. Today Martin is running the dog yard Greendog, together with Karina, who is now his wife. Together with the 4 kids, they live in Bolderdalen, about 10 kilometers outside Longyearbyen. And my little cabin is just down the hill. It's actually their cabin. Martin has lived in the Arctic since he left the Dog Sled Patrol, so he has much more experience than I do. So besides having a great time, I also always learn a lot from him when we are out together.
Now Martin and I are ready to head towards the cabin. I brought a little 100 to 400 in case that we see some reindeer or ptarmigans or Arctic fox or whatever. So now it's just to head out there and hope for the best. together with a group of guests from Greendog. Where are you going?
We are going to Jansenhaugen.
How far is that?
I think today will be 20 kilometers.
This sled behind Martin's scooter is built after the same principle as in the dog sled patrol, rather than these extreme sled that most people are using here in Svalbard. And the good thing about a sled like that is that if it breaks down in the middle of nowhere, you can repair it yourself. For ptarmigans on the hillsides of this little valley, because that is a place that they really like to be. Yeah. We have a difficult passing here, so Martin is taking off the sled just to try to see if he can pass. And I'm gonna crawl up here to be safe. Oh. That was good. Now it's my turn. It's very hard to see the curves of the landscapes, but when I come as second, I can see his tracks.
We have not had much luck in finding the ptarmigans in this trip, but we have seen a few reindeer, and on the way home a plan started to take form in my head. The weather forecast looks very exciting for the next few days. Tomorrow will be nice and quiet, but then strong wind and snow will hit the west coast of Svalbard, and this might be the perfect opportunity for me to get some great photos of the reindeer in whiteout.
This is really nice. The reindeer are not shy and they are just scraping and grassing. Making the snow like blow around in the air, and it is so incredible beautiful, and I think I get some good photos, but yeah, let me just concentrate on getting some good photos and some good video, and then yeah, I can talk later.
It is truly amazing to observe the reindeer in their search for food in this blizzard. They seem totally unaffected about the storm, but of course you can say they're used to it. Unfortunately, they decided to change position, so I had to do the same. And to my luck, they led me to a bigger group of reindeer that I hadn't seen. The Svalbard reindeer is one of 7 subspecies of reindeer, and it is endemic to Svalbard. The body mass of a male is approximately 65 kilos in spring and 90 kilos in autumn, while a female is closer to 50 kilos in spring and 70 kilos in the autumn. The Svalbard reindeer has a varied diet and eats almost all types of vegetation with a few exceptions. They spend most of the time feeding to accumulate fat. The fat reserves are used during winter when vegetation is of lower quality and access to it is limited. Starvation is the most common cause of mortality. One reason is the fact that the teeth are worn down because of all the sand and small stones in the vegetation they eat. Another threat is when rain is coming on top of the snow and then freezes. The food is then really hard for them to get to. The males develop large antlers during the period from April to July, and they lose them again in early winter. The females develop antlers starting in June, and they are usually retained for a whole year until the calves are born. I have read that the reason why the females are keeping their antlers during winter is because they use them to defend food or territories from other females, and access to food is critical during their winter pregnancy.
Getting a little late now, and soon it'll be dark, so I'll pack down my equipment and head towards my little cabin. What an afternoon!
After a day like this, all my equipment is full of snow, but as long as it stays frozen, there's no risk of water damage. Therefore, it is crucial that I take my precautions when I get back home to the cabin. When I get back, I'll brush off all the snow with a little brush while I'm still outside in the cold. I'll then take out the batteries and memory cards so that I can start recharging and transferring. I'll leave the cameras and lenses in the back and let the bag slowly acclimatize in the warm cabin. Then I'll take everything out and dry it completely. This way, my equipment will stay in the perfect condition and it'll be ready for the next trip.
This is perfect. That was basically what I was hoping for.